From the top, it's the Split Decision podcast featuring your usual hosts, Roman Garcia, PJ Katona. PJ, where do we find ourselves today?
We find ourselves back in the stew. Back in the studio once again.
Refurbished, brand new, still has that new studio smell to it.
Yeah, of course, it's great.
Like there's 3 dogs that live in this house.
It's almost like there's a lot. It smells like canine.
It smells like canine, but we make do. My mom just put something on the grill, so that's always a nice thing to hear. Hopefully it doesn't catch up on the mic, though. Speaking of Mike, Michael Dywan.
As some of you might recall, was it once or twice? Just once?
Probably only once. That was more than enough.
A one-time special guest appearance. Mike Dywan. Today is his birthday, so I already said it to you, but Feliz cumpleaños, Mike.
Mm-hmm. What are we talking here? The big 23? Is it Jordan year?
Yeah, he's not. He can't be. Is he? Yeah.
It would have to be, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy to think about. Old timer. That's Unk status, right there.
Uncle Mike.
My favorite Mike Dywan memory? Probably whenever I get to say bye to him. Nah, great kid.
Yeah, I mean, him and I became friends over Xbox, I think, in 6th or 7th grade. And look where we are now, Mike.
Yeah, probably before I became friends with either of you two.
Oh, here we go. Play the victim.
Nah,
Jeez.
We're past that now. We're way past that. I don't think I could still bring that up and respect myself.
Yeah, you
gotta get over that.
As a friend, you gotta let that one go.
Yeah, I gotta let that one go. I do miss the Xbox game chats.
Mike and I still we still play in our free time nowadays when we're not.
I seriously think about investing now in the old PlayStation 5.
I mean, realistically, the PlayStation 5 could be the last gaming console I buy for probably a long time.
It's just, I looked at my bank account, that check hit. It made me think. Maybe I got $1 or $2 to put towards a game station.
Yep.
But maybe those days are behind me. Speaking of days that are behind us, UFC Paris this past Saturday, which was headlined by our boy Renato Manny Moicano and no longer affiliated with the Split Decision podcast, Benoit Saint-Denis. Benoit Saint-Denis, the god of war. And man, he
went to war, all right.
It was a pretty one-sided war.
Yeah.
Almost like Israel and Palestine, am I right?
No comment.
I wouldn't touch that one.
No comment. But yeah, no, you were not wrong. We can get into that after. I guess we quickly want to highlight some of the interesting performances on the prelims. Sorry, I blanked there for a second. Yeah, like we said, not a whole lot going on in this one up until the main card. Eileen Perez had a rather good performance, and then a very, I would say disrespectful. I mean, that would piss me off if I lost in somebody.
But I've been hearing about Eileen Perez for a while now.
I can't really say I have at all, to be honest with you.
Really?
I mean, no, I know who she is, but I mean, I didn't. I mean. Same with Brian Battle, you got to put yourself on the map by doing outrageous things.
Yeah.
But yeah, she won. But I think...
I mean, that's 4 wins in a row right there.
Yeah. I think, besides the main card, the most ruthless knockout of the night came with Fares Ziam kneeing Matt Frivola, who at one point... Matt Frivola has had some pretty brutal losses in his career. I can think of a few off the bat. He got knocked out by Terrence McKinney in 7 seconds. He got head kicked to the dome by BSD, and now he's taking a brutal knee up the gut to Ziam. Just when Frivola cracked the top 15, too, when we thought he actually might be heading in the right direction, he is taking a bad beat.
He was stringing a few together.
Yeah, no, he was pretty solid up until BSD kind of...
he even cracked the chin of Drew Dober.
That...
Which no one's ever done that before.
Yeah, that chin is unreal. But... That being said, no more yapping.
Yeah.
The main card, I would say, lived up to the hype. We had 3 finishes, a split decision, and a UD.
Good main card.
Yeah, pretty. I would say a good 8 out of 10 main card. Pretty solid.
I was entertained.
I mean, to start it off, we had. I'm not even gonna try and say his last name, but Morgan Charriere, I guess that's my attempt.
Chadier,
something. Yeah, there's definitely some accent in there that I can't perform, but he knocked out Gabriel Miranda, who is from Brazil. Did you catch that one live?
Can't say I did, and I will say I did not think that Chadier guy was going to win. I knew he had a couple stringed a few together before that, but I had never watched him fight. So good on him for proving me wrong.
Yeah, kind of it was more of a, I would say they were in the clinch kind of, and for whatever reason, Gabriel kind of spun around, and when he spun around, there was a left hook waiting at the jaw for him, and that was it. That was it. I can't really say I have a future matchup prediction for either one of these guys. Neither one of them really have much name power behind them.
Look at something on UFC Vegas, something like that.
Yeah. But with that being said, I would probably say the biggest headline.
This was my moment of the night for sure.
I would have to say so. We're talking about Brian Battle. He had an interesting choice of words. I don't know if I remember exactly what he said off the top of my head. Do you have I can't remember exactly what it was.
He started off by saying,
just say it wasn't
said
nice.
Boomy. I love it.
Yeah.
He had I think what made it better is he had a very distinct voice.
Yeah.
He said, I love it.
I was kind of.
I love it. And usually that sort of thing annoys me, but I was really digging in, just like.
No, he embraced the villain. He had a villain's voice too.
He said, y'all didn't think the butcher was gonna get knocked out by a French dude.
By the French dude. That's what it was.
That was great.
Brian Battle landed a series of strikes to the dome of Kevin Wasset.
Yeah.
Wasset.
I mean, that could very well be who knows what the future holds for Brian Battle, but I wouldn't be surprised if a couple years from now
he's a name.
We are circling this as the moment where the star was born.
Yeah, he has a name now. That's for sure. What I find crazy, and I was doing some research before watching him fight, is he used to be a 300-pound heavyweight. 300-pound heavyweight. In a bunch of smaller. They don't have it on ESPN. His fights that far back, I'm pretty sure, but that just went away. He started in a lower tier MMA promotion as a big boy, and then started training, and now he potential star in the making for the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
I like it, not often a guy comes lately, back in the day, the Ultimate Fighter was a real breadwinner for prospects.
For sure.
But I feel like as of late, it's been the Dana White Contender Series, which has been producing more notable athletes.
I would agree.
So it's nice to see somebody, work their way up through the Ultimate Fighter, and, had a loss early in his career as well, which easily could have took his career off track.
Yeah.
But, he's got it back on track since then. And I don't know if necessarily Kevin Jousset warrants, a top 15 sort of matchup. But, the easiest name to kind of fill in the blank in terms of Brian Battle versus who next, I would say the notorious Bobby King Green. It's almost too easy to say. It's very much a low-hanging fruit at 155 to say, hey, this upcoming prospect should fight.
Well,
King Green. Next.
Well, they're at.
Oh,
they are at 170.
My apologies.
No, you're good. You're good. It's impressive that he even makes 170, which is nuts.
Yeah,
but
true.
I was gonna say also 170's got a bunch of.
We gotta cut that part out. No one can know that I didn't know that he was.
Well, you can cut that out if you want. Otherwise, you're an idiot.
No,
Anyways,
we live with our mistakes.
Back to it. Yeah, 170's got a bunch of gatekeepers, bunch of interesting guys. So there's so many different.
Wow. Who is the 170? Bobby Green? You know who it is. I don't even have to tell you.
Yes, Mr. Well, does he have a fight scheduled already? I don't think Neil Magny has a fight scheduled. I should say the name before we just keep talking about him mysteriously. I don't know if he has a fight scheduled now, but hey, if you want to see if someone's top 15 battle test, I think he does have a fight.
He doesn't have anything.
Oh, he got knocked out by my boy, Michael Morales, but he's coming off a loss, which might not be good.
Fuck. Yeah,
that might not be good.
Look at that. Brian Battle, avoid it. Never. Dude. Hasn't lost 2 in a row in years.
That's actually unbelievable.
Because it feels like he loses every fight.
But yeah. Anyways, I'm sure Brian Battle's going to get somebody outside of the top 15, probably. I would say, and one more performance like that, and he's probably got to fight with Neil Magny on the horizon.
Right on the cusp of it.
But yeah, that happened. I would say probably the most boring fight, but I wouldn't even say it was a boring fight, but the most
timid.
Of the main card was William Gomez versus Yo Anderson Brito. It was a pretty interesting fight. A lot of people thought Brito won that.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I also was one of those people that thought it should have been 29-28. But once again, this is one thing that I do not like about the MMA community. Whenever there is a fight that is dead close, according to the media, it's automatically a robbery. I can't stand it. But yeah, you might make the argument that Brito got robbed of a win, which he might have, but at the same time, he could have done a lot more during the fight. You know what I'm saying?
He absolutely could have. And honestly, I wanted Brito to win. I had money on Brito to win.
Well, yeah, you probably did want him to win.
Yeah, but it was definitely 1-1 going into the third.
Yes, it was.
For some reason, I can't exactly remember how the fight played out.
I don't remember either, to be honest.
And Brito pretty much took the same approach that he took in the first two.
I want to say Brito took round one.
I think it probably went that way.
Yes.
And I just wasn't very impressed with the way he fought that fight. He really thought that he was going to walk basically straight through Gomes. And wasn't doing anything to sort of cut off the octagon to get himself a better chance. Just thought he could really just go straight at him, overwhelm him. In the first round, I think that, was to his benefit because it's like he had been on like a 5-fight win streak up until then, was used to running through guys in that sort of fashion. But I mean, I think it's honestly a tale as old as time. We've watched enough fights where you see, that sort of like this guy who's been on an unbeatable streak, and all it takes is him not finishing the fight within the first round and a half, and the game plan.
Especially in a 3-round fight, like, it's really gained.
And fighting in the style in which Brito's fighting, because even for me, like it became very predictable. It was a low inside leg kick he was throwing and a big overhand right.
Yeah, the overhand right was pretty excessive.
Yeah, by the end of the fight, I was like, I mean, he didn't touch Gomes with that at the end of the. He didn't even get close, and it was too easy at that point.
I mean.
At the end of the day, do I think some of the control time could have gotten Brito the decision? Yes. Would I have liked that? Certainly. Would have been better for the pocket. That being said, when we move on to the next few fights, I would have lost anyway. But nonetheless,
I think a lot of people would have lost, especially the main event.
Nonetheless, good on you, William Gomes, for getting it done.
Yeah, doing it in front of the home crowd. I think that might have. I don't want to say it does, but I think it might have played. When there's a 50-50 fight, is the judge really going to piss off an entire country, or are they just going to give it to him?
Exactly.
But yeah, nothing too significant. I would say. I don't know how. I mean, I'd say both of them are pretty solid, but nothing crazy. But anyways, moving on. Co-main, probably, very close fight, but I think also I was fairly confident with the result after the fight ended. That is Nasruddin Imavov versus Brendan Allen.
Yeah, that was
the middleweight potential number one, maybe I would say maybe the number two contender.
Title eliminator, that sort of thing.
Yeah, title eliminator for sure. Yeah. Imavov, I don't know exactly what his win streak was at, but he strung together quite a few in a row. I thought, 3 in a row.
I think I saw a stat. I think he has tied for the most or second most wins in the past 2 years at middleweight. Yeah, makes sense. I feel like he fights pretty often and he usually wins.
5 times in the past, since the start of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nowadays that's fairly active.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's put together a solid run. I think I'd say the first round, Allen immediately shot for a takedown and pretty much controlled.
Yeah.
I would say the entire first round was pretty much all Brendan Allen. A lot of people were trying to say 10-8, but no, it was not a 10-8. No. The media, pretty dumb.
They look at that CT, that control time. Start.
Now you want to talk about? We'll talk about a 10-8 first round in the main event.
Stay tuned for that.
However, I think it was fairly obvious Brendan Allen won round one, and then from there on out, Imavov just kind of was able to keep his range a little bit better, landed some control time of his own, both working from, starting on the bottom to reversing it to his own control time, which I thought was pretty impressive because, to be honest, I wasn't really familiar with Imavov's ground game. But I would say he's fairly well-rounded. I'm not sure. I mean, he's a good striker. Is he an elite striker? I mean, I think he's right in between being good and elite. I think he's got a shot to win the belt. It's hard to say because I almost feel like anybody in the top 15 has a shot against Dricus, but at the same time, I just feel like Dricus could beat every single person on the roster as well. So, yeah, what are your takeaways on this bout?
First of all, I mean, I texted you about this. I on the podcast predicted Imavov to get the victory. But nonetheless, I still threw some cheddar on Brendan Allen over 1.5 takedowns. It was looking pretty nice after that first round.
It was looking stupendous.
I'm like, you're telling me 10 minutes left? This guy's not grabbing one?
I mean, he got one in the first 20 seconds. You would think.
And then this guy does, which is like the hardest thing to watch somebody do, which is just when they're just diving at the legs with no sort of setup whatsoever.
Yeah, or just when they're tired. Like in that case, Allen was just gassed.
Sucks to watch, because after you watch him miss like the second or third one, you already know. You're like, this guy's
you're toast.
This guy's not getting one for the rest of the fight.
Nope.
And he certainly didn't even get close to getting one. So that was unfortunate to see. I mean, I'm honestly not mad at it because I'm not the biggest fan of Brendan Allen. I mean, don't have anything against him. Just
I was gonna say I don't even have anything against him either.
But that's the problem. I don't feel anything for him either. It would just been boring. Like, I don't know.
That's why I was rooting for
His name's Brendan Allen. His name's Brendan Allen.
He is American.
Go to ChatGPT. Say, give me an American name. You're gonna get Brendan Allen. Anyways,
yes.
I've already wasted enough words on him. Imavov, probably fight away.
I was going to say, what do you think is next? I don't. Brendan Allen got called out by Marvin Vittori, which I think is actually a solid fight.
Those guys in front of him are so stubborn.
This is when you get to these guys are killers in front of him, but they're also.
Now that I think about it, Imavov might have to fight. He very well could have to fight twice. Because the way I see it, that Khamzat Whitaker. I mean, we're gonna do DDP Strickland next. It's pretty much guaranteed.
Yes.
And then Whitaker Chimaev, another number one contender fight right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're Imavov,
you're in a weird spot.
You're looking at 2 fights, and one of them's not going to be Israel Adesanya. That'd be like the only way you could get to the title.
I was gonna say Imavov versus Adesanya. I think would be very interesting, but I don't know if I see that happening.
They could do Cal Barallo, but then you risk kind of dampening 2 young stars, or one of the two.
But Kaio is in there, like he.
I mean, we could throw Jared in there. I mean, Jared's only lost the 1 fight, and somehow he finds himself at...
He lost to Imavov, but once again, that was a pretty...
yeah. That wasn't even too long ago.
But that was pretty, what's it called, though? Controversial. Because I don't, to this day... I mean, I think Imavov...
They stopped it early, didn't they?
Yeah, very early.
Yeah.
Jared Cannonier was pretty pissed. But then Jared Cannonier lost again to Kaio, so it doesn't really matter.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Jared Cannonier fought Kyle Barallo.
Am I... Yeah, that was his last fight. Kyle Barallo. That's who Barallo just beat. That's why I was saying it's kind of weird you can't match those two up. I don't know. The middleweight division's in kind of a weird spot right now, I would say. Because like you said, Imavov, like realistically, this fight should be... The winner should be in a prime position for a title fight. But at the same time, like we said, DDP and Strickland seems like it's going to be next. Whitaker and Chimaev are kind of fighting, like we said, for the number 1 spot. So I don't really know what you do with...
They're hopefully fighting. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, hey, once again, I'm not sure Chimaev's showing up to that fight. Imavov could be fighting Whitaker next week. Yeah. You can look at me all you want, but Chimaev is a
flip of a coin. That's what he is.
Well, it's more like a flip of a dice of a die.
Snake eyes.
Yeah, more like you need to roll snake eyes for Hunter. That's what you need. But
yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I'm glad that we're throwing around new names in the hat.
This division for a long time was like the most, like not the most loaded, but it was up there. I mean, there's some very notable names that have fought at middleweight in the history of the sport. And it kind of was stagnant because I would say Adesanya kind of cleaned it out, but then we got Khamzat, now we got Barallo, now we got Imavov. So
Whitaker's on a new run. He doesn't have to worry about that because for the longest, Whitaker was still beating guys, but it's like he's already fought Adesanya.
Well, up until he lost to DDP, everybody thought Whitaker was easily the second best middleweight in the world, without a doubt. But Dricus just came in and took everything from everybody.
It's kind of crazy because it's like a lot of those guys, it's like you want to see a guy who has a win fight a win. But again, we talked about why Barallo Imavov might be a little bit difficult to make.
Maybe, Vittori's still hanging around there.
But Vittori, I have no interest in watching that
Vittori is he's a good fighter, but he's just never gonna be a champ.
Never. What do you think about his tweet over the weekend? We'll put that right here. Maybe. I don't think we got that editing. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how your game. We'll see how the editing game is. I'm not sure if we're quite like that yet, but yeah, I don't know. Enough about this division.
Put it in the thumbnail.
We'll just have to wait and see how this division pans. Dana will cook. Let's just be honest. Dana's got us.
Whatever. I would say whatever ends up like how the card and the deck ends up getting shuffled. Like like you're saying,
it's gonna be interesting because there's a lot. I would say it's. The top 5 is obviously all fireworks.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on to the main event. Benoit Saint Denis trying to get a win in front of his country.
Yeah. Yeah, Benoit's trying to show he still had it.
Because many people thought he got the fight with Poirier. A lot of people gave him a chance against. I think
he was a betting favorite.
I was gonna say he was the favorite against Poirier, and then he was knocked out. Claimed the whatever sickness he had, the staph infection screwed him up badly, and I kind of believed it because it looked like he was moving in slow mo out there against Poirier, and then he moved in slow mo against Money Moicano, and I'm sure most of you have seen online pictures. We posted it on, I believe, Instagram and Twitter now. BSD's face after round 1 versus Moicano. That was a pretty brutal beatdown.
I was really taken aback. I was. Even though I had already lost my parlays at that point, so it didn't really matter. So I was kind of excited to see that ground and pound from Ronaldo. But that was literally some of the best ground and pound, and I don't even think I'm exaggerating. That was some of the best ground and pound I've seen since Khabib used to fight. Like I haven't seen anything remotely close to that in a very long time. I
mean, it's very rare you see somebody, I'd say, actually get bloodied up and literally butchered.
He butchered your face.
Butchered your face. Inside of just one round. Like you said, Khabib across 5 rounds. Anybody across 5 rounds, 3 rounds you can get beat up at. But this was 4 minutes of just brutality.
It was night and day. We see those edits on TikTok all the time. Round 1 versus round 5. This was round 1 to round 2. And it looked like BSD had fought 3 guys from the last 5 minutes.
It looked like he fought Khabib. He fought prime Khabib.
No, it was. I was really satisfied to watch it. If I'm being honest,
it was
extremely satisfying because it was just grappling 101, got control, never put himself in a position where Benoit could get out or escape.
No.
It was very much position first, and then let's get the shots in, and he got plenty of those.
It was.
Elbows, punches.
It was just textbook. As a coach, that's what you teach in training, and that's exactly what happened. I thought it was pretty cool because Moicano. There's somebody leaked a video of Moicano in training, catching kicks and working out of that. And like I just said, coach, that's exactly what you tell your fighters, and he beautifully executed it. To perfection, but I think
very first kick of the fight.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. Money Moicano obviously made himself a big name. I would say obviously with his fighting skill, but also his post-fight interviews have been arguably some of the best. He's on a generational run of post-fight interviews right now.
I'll tell you this: I've seen a couple of clips from Moicano. I've listened to his podcast. Shout out, Show Me the Money podcast.
Yeah, Show Me the Money.
Give us a shout out back. We'd appreciate it. And he's a very smart guy. He's a very smart guy.
He actually is. When you listen to him, you wouldn't think so, but hey.
No, that guy reads up on his stuff, which is why when he started talking about globalists on his post-fight interview, I was like, I don't know what any of this means, but you're probably right.
Sounds like he's done his research. Yeah. To say the least, it sounds like he's done his research.
But he's been someone who's been around, obviously, the UFC for quite a while now, and it's almost Dubronx-esque in a way, in which you wouldn't think that he'd be a fighter who found himself entering the top 6 at this point. But here he is, and I know we discussed it a little bit after the fights on Saturday. I would like to see the Dan Hooker fight. I know there's been a little bit of traction.
Dan Hooker, easy money.
Dan Hooker, easy money.
That's what he said.
What did he say? He said, Dan Hooker is like seeing a turtle in a tree.
Dude, he's great.
Someone had to put it there.
But he also wants to fight Paddy Pimblett.
Paddy Pimblett.
And Paddy Pimblett actually called out or responded and said, let's do it. I think that'd be, in terms of a build up to that's the perfect third or fourth card from the top on a pay-per-view.
And I think what Moicano also has going for him, which is also similar to Oliveira when he was going on his run, is that there is part of these fighters that feel like that he's very beatable. I think, which is why I don't think there's any hesitation from them to be like.
Well, it's very similar to Charles. He gets hit on the feet, and you know, he's been knocked out before, but at the same time, he can take.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, it is very. This is giving very Du Bronx-esque type.
History repeats itself, Paul.
I mean, hey, if it does, I'm gonna have to. On episode like 94, I'm gonna have to come back here and tip my cap to you because that'd be great. Be a great call. But Manny Moicano, if you look at it, I mean, he doesn't have any bad losses on his resume. He's got 5 losses, and they're all against either champions or guys that are pretty elite. T-City Ortega, Jose Aldo, the Korean Zombie, Rafael Fiziev, and RDA.
Best in the business.
He's only lost to the best, as he said.
I remember his very first, like when he first spit fire on the mic. It was after he beat Brad Riddell. Back when people thought Brad Riddell was going to be that boy. He said,
subbed him.
I was on the fucking plane eating burgers and drinking the beer 24 hours ago. They called me on 2 days' notice.
5-round fight on 4 days' notice.
I make the weight and I fight the fight in 2 days' notice.
No, that was great. He's a great guy. He's a funny guy, and he's a phenomenal fighter.
Like I was telling you, I think if I was matchmaker, him versus Hooker, winner fights. They're talking about Chandler versus Oliveira, winner fighting, going straight to Islam. I personally would like to see, you know what, just to. I think it would build it so much more if it was really like you had to win these next 2 in a row. You know, like
for sure. I also don't know like what Dan Hooker wants because Dan Hooker, like I already said to you, Dan Hooker said that he's going to be very smart with his next. Like he wants to fight the guy that's going to put him
in the title right away.
A fight away from the title. I just don't know if a win over Moicano gets him to the title next. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
because there's a rematch with Poirier on the line. Poirier called for it. He could fight Gaethje. He could fight the loser of Oliveira and Chandler. I don't know. There's a lot of directions to go. For Moicano, it makes perfect sense to call out Dan Hooker if he really wants to fight for the title.
For me, it's just, I don't know. I think I'm sort of at this point now where I'm kind of over Gaethje and Dustin being a fight away from the title as well.
I am too, and I love those. I mean, we're all gonna love those guys, but it's been like that for 2 or 3 years now.
Like, do I really want to see Justin knock out Dan Hooker? Let's just say that happens, and then we're gonna just force him to fight Islam. Like that's not gonna be a competitive fight. I mean, all respect to Justin Gaethje, it's just not going to be.
Yeah. Before the Max Holloway fight, I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually thought Gaethje had a somewhat chance at beating Islam, but he has zero chance to beat Islam.
No. So the way I'm playing matchmaker, it's for the sake of seeing some fresh blood. But I mean, they could very well go the way in which No, but I don't think they would do a Dan Hooker versus Poirier if it's really Poirier's last fight. I don't think that's the fight you make.
I think it makes sense for Gaethje and Poirier to fight each other for the third time, and just in my opinion, Poirier, he's done pretty much everything he can in this sport without being an undisputed champion. I think it's like the last chapter of his career right here. It's just 1-to-1 with the guy who he pretty much grew up with in the division, literally pioneers of the division almost. Like won the division.
Modern lightweights.
Picture perfect modern lightweight 155. I think that makes sense for them. So, I am also pretty annoyed with these guys they lose. Oh, but their next fight is a title eliminator. Yeah. They win. They're fighting for the title. Oh, they get subbed by Islam. Right back down to where you started.
You aren't gonna make new stars unless you give them.
Neither one of those guys.
Put them in a position. Yeah.
Poirier better than Gaethje, but I just don't think those guys are beating Islam, Charles, or even Sarukian. I don't even know.
No.
Maybe they could beat Sarukian, but regardless, their time is up. But
as for BSD,
I like Dariush.
Dariush,
the two solid, really good lightweights that just move slow as shit. Personally, for me, I think both kind of fight in slow mo, but both have elite ground game.
Dariush, bro. 2 years ago, I thought he could have been champ.
Dude, we really thought people genuinely thought Dariush was the guy to take Islam Makhachev's throne.
I thought he was going to take out Charlie Olives on the way there too.
Yeah.
We make mistakes on the Split Decision podcast.
We do. But yeah, overall, a very solid card. A lot of, like we said, some of these fighters, there's so many directions these guys can go in. And yeah, UFC Paris, I feel like they never really fail to deliver. I feel like it's always entertainment in terms of the star power they bring there, to the crowd, to the performances. I feel like everything is just very, very solid.
And I would agree with you on that.
Thanks, man. Any last comments on UFC Paris?
Y'all didn't think the Butcher was going to lose in a fist fight to a French dude.
Dude, he's a beast. He's a beast of a human being.
Remember the name. Brian the Butcher Battle. But lest we move on to bigger and brighter things.
We got some pretty solid matchups, some pretty interesting news before we get into this weekend's card. First off, the UFC announced UFC Macau in China. November 23rd, main event, 5 rounds. Davison Figueiredo versus Peter Yan. Absolute banger of a fight. A fight I called for. I think we both called for it. This is going to be like peak mixed martial arts. These are 2 mixed martial artists right here. Like, you want to talk about well-rounded athletes, well-rounded mixed martial artists. The guys that mix the martial arts, these brothers right here.
Dude, we're talking Bobby Flay versus like Guy Fieri.
Dude.
Like
the jack of all trades is what they are.
All trades. This fight could go so many different ways. I'm so glad.
I'm glad
getting it for 5 rounds.
I was gonna say 5 rounds. I honestly, like, I always hope for a finish, and maybe I hope for a later finish. But at the same time, if we get 25 minutes of just straight the arts being mixed, I would not be pissed.
We're talking judo throws. We're talking trips from the bottom. We're talking the overhands, straights, the jabs.
We might be talking a very slow and boring first, maybe second round, but
we got to analyze the data.
There will be fireworks, I think, especially considering it's a main event, and both these guys are still in the hunt to hold that undisputed belt.
It is just one of those when the stars align and you get the perfect rankings for each guy at the perfect times. Coming off a win, both going for the belt. You would have to think whoever wins this, they're fighting for that title next. If it's
that, or I think they fight Sean O'Malley. Personally,
you think that the UFC wants? Well, yeah, obviously the UFC wants Sean O'Malley to fight away, but I mean, when is this? This is.
I mean, no bias. I think Sean is like a knockout away once again from fighting.
Yeah, I mean, certainly in his position, but these guys are fighting in November, and I think Sean says he's not fighting for a year. He got some hip surgery.
He does have a long time.
So these guys fighting, like 2 months from now, like 6-7 weeks.
I mean, I think the timeline somewhat adds up. Maybe we'll see. Yeah. Sean could fight Corey Sandhagen as well.
It also depends on Merab. Come on, Merab. Can you just fight Umar already?
He's fighting Umar. That's happening.
Can we just get this over with?
Yeah, I mean, Merab he's fighting Umar. Umar is gonna be the champ. It's all right,
dude. Merab, you are giving the people a reason to dislike you, and they already have so many. Not me. I'm a fan of your fights.
Before this, I actually used to hate your guts when you mauled Peter Yan. I still hate you for that. I'm not a big fan of you taking the belt from my boy, but hey, he's boring, but he's not boring. I don't know how to explain it. We already went over this last episode too. He's like
Merab put me through the 5 stages of grief. That
was and Jose Aldo.
By the end, I was clapping because I was like, it's actually insane how a man can shoot 44 takedowns and just still be bouncing on his toes.
Yeah, he's a ridiculous human being.
But until you accept the Umar fight, we are not talking about you further.
Anyways, yeah, that's gonna be a banger. We'll get into prediction. I'm happy I don't have to predict this fight today because I'm gonna have to think about that one. But next, big news for the UFC. Actually, I don't even know if I want to say. I don't know how. I'm assuming Rainier de Ritter. Is that how you say it?
Oh yes. René de Ridier.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. All right, whatever.
Pull that out of my
whatever the hell you just tried to say. Former double champ in one. Both the light heavyweight and heavyweight champ. A very skilled mixed martial artist. Speaking of the arts being, I might just start saying that every time now. The guy who mixes the martial arts. Fighting Gerald Mearshart. Calling him Mearshart because he is a shart. He's me. I'll put everything I have on Day Ritter
Dude,
winning.
You never know. Mearshart.
You don't know. He is
most subs in middleweight history.
You're right. I shouldn't disrespect him like that, but dude, come on.
I don't know why this is the first fight they give him.
It's a decent fight.
I mean, you would think that I'm not saying he had to get somebody in the rankings, but they could have found somebody.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately for Mearshart, he's just the guy who got knocked out by Hamzat Chimaev. Unfortunately, that's how most people see him.
Yeah, that is true.
So I mean, I would like to see, Bo Nickel. No, I'm just kidding. What are we doing with that guy?
He's fighting.
Oh yeah, he's fighting Paul Craig.
Paul Craig, that's who it is. Yeah,
he's gonna get locked up.
But yeah.
Look forward to that in the near future.
Yeah.
Circle the name.
I saw about. But then UFC 310 added some juice. They added a lot of juice actually, and 2 of them off of injuries. So big additions for them because this was once again where we thought the Mac would be returning. He's not returning there yet.
2025.
We're talking about Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov 2 on UFC 310. We're talking Aljo versus Movsar Evloev 310. We're talking Michael Chiesa. Gee, he sucks. Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin.
Skip that one.
UFC 310. But then, banger of the card, Clay Guida versus Chase Hoop. Dude, literally father versus son right here.
Ultimate age difference. Let's look at this. Chase Hooper currently... What?
That's Charles
Not
Hooper.
Charles. Not Charles.
Chase Hooper's been...
Not Lieutenant General Charles Hooper. We'll put him right here.
Yeah.
No, we're talking 25-year-old Chase Hooper.
Who's like 96-year-old Uncle Guida.
Clay Guida, who was the gatekeeper before gatekeepers was a word. 42 years of age.
42.
From Round Lake, Illinois.
Goodness. He was graduating high school when Chase Hooper was about one or 2 years of age. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. Chase Hooper on a hot streak.
Yeah. Both of them are interesting fighters. I mean, Chase Hooper is definitely more of a ground. He's got some ground game. Clay Guida will do whatever. I mean, he's just fighting for money. He's obviously not fighting for title contention nowadays. He's 42. But yeah, that card definitely added some juice. The only other fight announced on this is Anthony Smith versus Dominic Reyes.
Jesus. That should have happened in 2016.
But yeah, 310 added some juice,
Jesus
at least.
Christ.
Another matchup, not 310 anymore, but UFC Tampa, December 14th. Manel Cape versus Bruno Silva. Fairly solid fight. Cape just is off the loss to the former UFC employee, Mohamed Makayev.
Jesus.
Bruno Silva, very solid fighter. I'm sure Cape will have some interesting words to say about the country of Brazil.
Last week, my boy Tristan, who was a guest on this episode or on this podcast a few months ago, was disappointed that we did not bring up. I can't even remember his name. Mokayev.
Okay.
And that is precisely why we did not bring him up. It was not intentional. I purely just... You see him fight once, you see him fight all of his fights, unfortunately.
Yeah. Still don't know if I agree with giving him the boot, but at the same time, he is...
He's young enough, he'll find his way back. If
I was going to say, I don't think he's fought his last fight in the UFC.
Yeah. Chris Barnett, his fat ass is fighting.
Banger of a fan favorite. I mean, another fan favorite like Chase Hooper and Guida. Chris Barnett, the GOAT, in my opinion, one of the sickest post-fight victory celebrations of all time.
He's like a shooting star. He doesn't come around often.
Dude, he is a big boy. I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
He's short too.
I think he has to cut weight to get to 266.
Absolutely, and he can't be taller than 5'10".
No, I think he's
5'9".
I was just like 5'7", 5'6". Jesus, all right.
5'9", 265.
He is a big boy, but fighting another big boy, Junior Tafa, but Barnett opened as a minus 700.
I don't know what we're doing there.
There's a lot of juice on Tafa. There's a lot of juice on the betting lines for Tafa.
What we're doing.
I think that's going to close a little bit closer as the
move.
fight approaches, but Barnett's just a dog. He's fireworks. You got to watch him.
Yeah.
And that's all the matchups I got. A couple other notes I had is Imavov said he would much rather rematch Sean Strickland next than fight for the belt.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
I don't know if I agree with that, nor do I think that's going to happen. Maybe if Sean Strickland loses again to DDP, that makes sense. But
no, we're talking.
Just thought I'd bring that up. Interesting. But big news. Khabib says that Islam has accepted a fight in January at UFC 311. He did not name the opponent. I think we're all, very certain who the opponent is going to be. That's probably going to be Arman Sarukian. I'm actually rooting for Islam. I hope he actually beats the brakes off of Sarukian. Sarukian's a bully. Didn't do that bully video like he was supposed to.
Yeah, because...
Bad guy there. Didn't even beat Oliveira. He's meat. Anyways, last one I got is that a lot of people have been saying that Alex Pereira and the UFC have kind of been hiding Magomed Ankalaev from him. I don't know if I necessarily believe it, but it is kind of weird that Ankalaev hasn't fought for the title yet. And Pereira said, quote unquote, "It's not my fault that Ankalaev has such a boring style of fighting that nobody wants to watch."
Correct.
And I would have to somewhat agree. Although Ankalaev isn't your typical, he's obviously got the Dagestani wrestling background, but he has either one or no subs in his entire MMA career. He's a solid striker. But I would say if you look at the list of people in the top 10, whatever you want to look at, the guy that probably poses the most threat stylistically to Pereira at 205, I think it's fair to say it's probably Ankalaev. Also because Pereira's wiped out the other 4 guys in the top 4. So, yeah. Any agreements there? Any remarks?
I think we mentioned it last week. I mean... Yeah, it's not rocket science. The UFC's trying to give Alex favorable matchups. And, they are probably crossing their fingers because Rakic tends to lean more towards the striking side than Ankalaev does. But the more that I think about it, I don't know if it's just Alex fan in me, but the more I do see a path to victory for him in that fight.
I do too, because Ankalaev said he would stand up with, like every other idiot that has fought Pereira. They all think they can stand and bang with him until they're unconscious in the second round.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's all good and well. We're a few months away. Let's see what happens this weekend, because that's when Alex Pereira will be fighting.
Speaking of Bolton.
At UFC 307.
Shama.
Over in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Shama.
Shama no Shama.
That video of Dana White saying it is hilarious. And he Pereira, I don't know what post fight it was, but Pereira just goes up to Dana, he's like, Shama. And Dana just goes, Shama. The most American way he could have possibly said it.
Wow.
Yeah, we had ourselves a pretty good card here. I'd say the main card is quite loaded, to say the least. Carla Esparza, probably the biggest fight of the night.
Yeah, 2-time world champion.
Absolute beast she is. She's instant fire. You should look up. You guys want to see... You want to see a woman who mixes the martial arts? Look up her highlights.
Esparza versus Naama Yunus.
Yeah, anyways, good for her.
Spain, St. Preux, they dug him out of the grave for this one.
St. Preux, he's still kicking it somehow.
Somehow.
This one has got to be the last one. He's 41.
But somebody who is still kicking it, who is from the old days, and I actually am excited to fight, is one Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, taking on the up-and-coming, the rising Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley does not shut up. For better or worse, he keeps his name out there.
Definitely. I mean, I think it's intelligent.
Yeah, it's intelligent. So, you know what else is intelligent? Wonderboy on the feet. Do I think Buckley throws in a few takedowns?
Yes.
Probably. Would I really hate to see Wonderboy get wrestled again? Yes.
100%.
But unfortunately, Paul, it's the path to victory.
I mean, it could be he hasn't really said much, but it could be the last fight of his career. You never know. I mean, he's 41 years old. Who knows?
I'm sure he gets tired of making the weight.
Yeah, I mean, he's tall, too. He's 6 feet tall. I'm sure he definitely walks. I mean, no, actually, I don't remember. I think it was before Shavkat. It was on an embedded. Somebody asked him how much he cuts weight. He only cuts like 10 to 15 pounds, I'm pretty sure. He's a skinny guy.
Yeah.
Got the karate background. Just, once again, a guy.
Arigato.
He has a form of art he possesses, and he's very good at it.
I would hope... Doesn't mix the martial arts
No.
too much.
He's just very good at one in particular.
Yes.
Very good at one in particular. I hope it's a good fight. Buckley, it's a good fight for Buckley because it's a guy who's ahead of him, and stylistically, if he can it makes sense, and I would say it's favorable for him. He's a -200 betting favorite. I will never count out Stephen Wonderboy Thompson of a fight just because he's arguably the best strike. If there is just straight up kickboxing, Stephen Thompson can bang with anybody.
Let's do some MMA math real quick. Joaquin Buckley got knocked out by Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland got knocked out by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Granted, Kevin Holland literally went into that fight.
You say Kevin Holland could have and should have won that fight if he really wanted to.
But I digress. It'll be an interesting fight. I'll be rooting for Stephen. Joaquin, go and do your thing, bro. And we will move on to the main card.
Main card. A very good main card, in my opinion.
Which features my UFC counterpart, Roman Dolidze.
Speaking of Kevin Holland.
The aforementioned Kevin Holland.
And I don't know what it is, but it just... Kevin Holland fight week, it's always great. I don't...
It happens every 3 weeks.
It's always happening, and I feel like even if he wins or loses, it's something interesting going on. He's a beast. He's a dog. He might not be a champion one day, but he's going to be a champion of fighting the most within a certain time frame.
I will be interested to see who wins this fight. Roman Dolidze, did he beat Anthony Smith the last time out? I think he did.
Well, yeah, he fought him on short notice, and he went up a weight.
Yeah,
he fought him at light heavyweight, which he's not a light heavyweight.
Holland also returning to middleweight after he loves to.
That's the other thing. He bounces around. He's just looking for a fight that excites him. I think this fight could be fairly solid. I hope this one stays on the feet. I mean, Kevin Holland has solid ground game.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is our first prediction of the day. Well, we can quickly predict. I feel like giving Buckley versus Thompson wouldn't be a bad prediction.
Yeah, Stephen Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. If I had to, I think Stephen got one more in him. I think he might. Is it versus Joaquin Buckley? Is it versus Joaquin Buckley? Shit, I would love it to be.
I could low-key see Joaquin getting talked into standing and banging with. I feel like he has that ego.
I could see him winning the first round, Joaquin, with the wrestling, grappling, but I could see it getting harder as the fight goes on. I'm gonna roll the dice on this one. Again, I am picking not with the brain, with the heart. I'm gonna go Stephen Thompson, UD.
Wow. Well, I'm not gonna go with my heart because my heart wants the Wonder Boy. I'm just gonna go Buckley, UD.
Sellout.
Dude, I'm trying to predict. The people are gonna look at this. They're gonna be like, "I want winners." If I had to throw my money on who I think would win, I would probably throw it on a Buckley decision. However, Wonderboy knocks him out. I'll gladly say I'm wrong. I don't know what kind of face that was. I hope I'm wrong. Let's just put it that way. I do like Joaquin Buckley, but Wonderboy is a fan favorite. And yeah, I'll go Buckley UD. So back to Big Mouth Dolidze. Do I see Big Mouth getting it done again? I'm going to be honest here. I'm a massive Kevin Holland fan, but I'm actually going to go Dolidze by decision.
Sometimes Dolidze looks so lousy, though.
He does.
Sometimes he really just shits the bed.
He's just a big boy, though. That's the thing. Like, if the fight goes to the ground, I don't think I see Holland being able to, he's not going to outpower him. He's not stronger than him. I'm going to go Dolidze by decision. In another fight, I hope I'm dead wrong on because I freaking love Big Mouth and I want him to be around for as long as possible.
Dolidze's fought.
Kevin, please prove me wrong. But Roman Dolidze for me by UD. Maybe even SD. Maybe SD, but I'm gonna go UD.
I'll go Kevin Holland on this one. Honestly,
I like that pick.
I bit the billet on Roman Dolidze a few times. I'm kind of just looking at his track record. Seems like when the going gets tough, he gets going the other way. Kevin Holland's been in there with some great guys, so I would hope he could withstand the wrestling for however long, and I would think he would comfortably have the advantage on the feet.
He'll have the speed advantage.
So I'm gonna go Kevin Holland.
I like that pick. Next fight, not even gonna waste my time because Kayla Harrison, she'll be champ. She's a dog.
We're about the same size.
Raquel Pennington is the current champion of this division, and the fight that might change. It might be Juliana Pena after Saturday, but Kayla Harrison, I think second round sub, she just solidifies herself as maybe the next contender, or at least, she's the next contender. She's ranked number 3.
I've never seen Ketlin Vieira throw a punch. I've seen.
I'm sure you have. You just probably don't remember it.
That is.
Vieira's ranked the number 2 bantamweight in the world.
Yeah, couldn't. How?
This is the.
How did she? What? Come on.
She lost a split decision. Pennington, and then she beat
Jesus
an unranked.
Christ.
She beat
She's
somebody
gonna get
unranked.
killed.
She beats. Oh yeah, she's getting mops.
Yeah, she beat Holly Holm and Misha Tate in the 2020s. Yeah, I could. Jesus, yeah.
Split
Kayla
decision
Harrison's
about
gonna peel her head off.
All right, I'm switching my first round.
Yeah,
first round sub, Kayla
first
Harrison.
round sub, Kayla Harrison.
Yeah, she's a dog. Anyways,
Uh,
she'll be fighting for the title next. She's gonna either sub Pena or Raquel Pennington, and she actually might hold on to that belt for as long as she can go.
now here's a fight I don't understand why we're doing. We gotta give the King of Rio a bit more credit than this. Why do we have Jose Aldo, one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time,
Arguably the best 145er of all time.
still doing contender matches? Not even like we're still saying what, he's 2-3 fights away from the title. Come on, we know he doesn't have much time.
Yeah.
He beat a prospect already,
Jonathan Martinez.
Jonathan Martinez, who was highly touted going into that match, and now we're what was it 11 versus 10?
Yeah, he's 10. Bautista's 11.
What are we doing here, guys? And I get 135 is a stacked division. You know, I just don't like it personally. I would have liked to see them get somebody who puts him a fight or
Yeah, that's
two
why
away.
Jose's gonna knock him out in the third round.
We're gonna retweet that. We're gonna go Jose Aldo. Actually, when's the last time he's knocked somebody out?
I don't care. Third round knockout. Jose. It's happening.
I hope you. I mean, he needs to win.
I just want to hear Rihanna. I just want to hear the walkout. Run this town. One of the greatest walkouts ever. I love it. Every time I hear Riri going, you know the King of Rio's coming out. It's gonna be sick.
He's going. Yeah, he's winning that fight. He hasn't finished anybody since Renato Moicano.
Money Moicano. Oh, it's been a long time. Oh, wait. It's okay. There's time, dude. It's gonna happen. I don't care. Third round KO. Mario Bautista.
He
Me.
beat Ricky Simone, who's not that great. Guido Canetti
Third round.
ducked Cody Garbrandt a year ago. Yeah, give me the King of Rio. What are we even saying? I don't know if he KOs him though. I'm gonna go UD and play safe.
I like that. I can see that happening too. All right, let's just whatever next fight. Alex Pereira. Raquel Pennington, the worst UFC champion of all time.
You probably have walked past Raquel Pennington in your life.
I probably have.
And not even noticed it.
I probably have.
Now I've been thinking about this. How do you market somebody like Raquel Pennington? I really don't.
Her record
know.
is 16-9.
Jesus Christ.
But I mean, I will. She has won 6 in a row. All by. Nope. Actually, she subbed one. She hasn't subbed somebody since 2021, but she has won 6 in a row. She's lost a lot of fights. I don't even really
can't
care.
even talk about it. I really can't.
I got
sorry, guys.
This guys. If you really, here's what I think personally. If you want to have, this is right when Jose Aldo knocks out or UD's Mario Bautista, go get a pizza from Papa John's, grab a beer, grab a pizza from Papa J.
Yeah.
You have 25 minutes, and then tune back in for Poetan.
Call your loved ones. Do
Yes.
anything.
I go Juliana Pena and New for the second time. I'll give her props. 2-time champion. It's tough to do, but a snooze fest nonetheless, in my opinion.
I'm not talking about it certainly because also my battery's about to die on my laptop. We got to talk about Alex Pereira.
Oh boy.
Uh,
UD Pena for me.
Yeah, sure, retweet. Anyways, my boy Alex,
Shama.
cash cow, Shama no Shama, Shama. We're gonna get the KO again this weekend. I mean, as much as I would love to see, Snoozman seems to think that Roundtree got that.
These are the kind of fights where the entire UFC gets absolutely shook up when you just think it's an absolute lock it in, pick it. I'm still taking Poetan. Don't get me wrong. I think second or third round. I'm gonna go second round. Shama. I'm gonna go Pereira by Shama, by knockout with probably some pretty cool celebration. But if Roundtree wins this fight, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I'm gonna be absolutely shocked.
You can't say you can't be surprised.
It's just like, dude. It's just like these are the kind of. I mean, we've been fans for long enough now to where you pencil somebody in for a lock in the championship fight, and then something crazy happens.
It's hard to be surprised in this sport anymore when you've been watching it and
to be honest,
crazy stuff.
For some reason, this gives me the vibes of DDP versus Robert Whittaker. I think everybody penciled in Whittaker. And they're penciling in Pereira. It could be Roundtree. I'm going Shama.
I think Roundtree's going to get smoked. I think he's going to get smoked in the first round. knockout first round.
If he does that, dude, Pereira is just climbing the.
I mean,
GOAT status.
it's like Roundtree. I'm trying to give you some benefit of the doubt here, trying to find ways to win. I'll even give you the miracle boost, and I still can't see it happening. I mean, if you're really gonna strike with the guy,
Hey, I never saw Jamal Hill becoming champion in the UFC.
some dork tweeted that Alex Pereira has never faced a fighter like Khalil Roundtree because he learned Muay Thai in Thailand.
That is, in my opinion, the most annoying statement in the history of MMA media. When somebody said, especially when it's on Embedded, it's like two guys are coming up and they sit there and they go, yeah, I mean, he's a good fighter. I respect him, but he's never fought a guy like me. Yeah, no shit.
Well,
no one else
shit,
is you.
buddy.
I hate when people say that. I know Roundtree hasn't said that about him, and if he does, I hope he gets sparked inside 2 seconds.
It's the dorks that are online speaking on behalf of Roundtree.
MMA media really does suck. Twitter, you can't go on MMA Twitter and not come out of there pissed.
It actually sucks, and I really I know. I think I've talked to you about this.
Yeah,
before,
you guys should listen to us, but you guys suck.
I will. We're the shit. We got our shit
We're
down.
great guys.
We got our shit down. We talk shit about the people who we're supposed to.
We're fans, but we keep it realistic.
We cheer for the people who we should. We keep it realistic. Yes, I think that's what.
That's what I can't stand is when, like, in any sport this is. I just can't stand when people, like, are fans of certain... And, like, you're going to have a bias towards your favorites, obviously. But at the end of the day, like... I hate people that can't come back down to earth when it comes to talking about people or teams that
will
they
just
like.
Disregard logic, like basic human logic. And I'm like, guys, I know you really want to see this guy win, but I mean, let's look at it through a clear lens for a second, you know. And that's what I'm trying to do right here. I really am. I'm trying to give Roundtree his fair shake. Unfortunately,
I'm giving him his fair shake. However, once again, yeah, I think Pereira could. I think he's gonna do it. Second round KO.
Yeah. Also, he kind of talks like a dork. I hate when black guys talk like white guys.
Dude, Roundtree, he's like he's a good guy. I would be happy to see him be champ. Just
Sean Strickland hates him, but who doesn't he?
Sean Strickland's a weirdo. I'm not gonna lie.
Blow my nose, dude. Can you guys hear all day? You guys hear how nasally I am?
Jeez, get this guy off the mic. Anyways, yeah, I'll read mine real quick, and then you can go blow your nose. For the prelim, we decided we're gonna do that one. I got Joaquin by UD. Hope I'm wrong. I got Roma Dolidze by UD. Hope I'm wrong. Kayla Harrison by whatever she wants, but I got first round sub. Jose Aldo by third round KO. Who cares about Pena? She's gonna UD her. She's gonna put me to sleep for 25 minutes. And then Shama by second round KO.
I think we're going very similar. I think we're flipped on the first two.
Flipped on the first two, but otherwise,
Flipped on the first two. I'm going to go Steven. Vintage Steve UD.
And I hope you're right.
Roman Dolidze. Not going to live up to the name, unfortunately. I think he's going to lose to Kevin Holland. Harrison, again, going to peel our wig off. Jose Aldo. King is back. And Alex Boltan.
Shama.
Shama no Shama.
Yeah, anyway. For a good card Saturday. Check out the socials. I'm going to get a bit more active on TikTok. Hopefully going to get some clips of this up on TikTok. Going to get some clips on Twitter, hopefully.
Should we get a face-off for the...
IG.
For the TikTok? Who do you think wins?
5 rounds.
5 rounds. 185.
Shama.
See you at the top. Check you guys out next week. This is ill-rehearsed outro, but you guys are going to deal with it because we're leaving now.